who should actually buy the Celestron CGEM 800 EdgeHD 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain, and who's better off putting their money elsewhere? Is it really worth the price tag for a hobby astronomer who just wants clear night ski views without spending a fortune on every little accessory? Those are the questions that keep me up when I stare at a star chart and wonder if a big-ticket telescope will actually solve my frustrations or just add another layer of complexity. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started looking at mid-range SCTs, the main hesitation was around the mount. A lot of entry-level telescopes bundle a simple Altaz mount, which is fine for planets but quickly becomes a headache when you try to track deep sky objects for longer exposures. The CGEM promises a computerized equatorial mount that's supposed to give ultimate stability, and that claim needed some digging. I read through a handful of astronomy forums and saw a pattern. Users who already own a decent eyepiece set and have a permanent observing spot appreciate the mount's ability to lock onto an object and stay there for an extended session. If you're the type who moves your setup nightly or lives in an apartment with limited space, the weight and size of this rig might actually be a deal-breaker. For anyone with a backyard, a sturdy tripod, and the intention to spend a few nights a month learning the sky, the mount could be the real value driver. Let's talk optics. The 8-inch EdgeHD primary mirror is advertised as delivering unparalleled clarity. In practice, that means you get a larger aperture than the typical 6-inch SCT found at this price range, which translates directly into more light-gathering power. For planetary observers, that extra 2 inches makes a noticeable difference when trying to split the rings of Saturn or see the cloud bands on Jupiter. For deep sky enthusiasts, it also means that nebulae like the Orion or the Ring will appear more defined, especially when you pair the telescope with a decent camera for astrophotography. The EdgeHD design is intended to flatten field curvature, which helps eliminate the edge fuzziness you sometimes see in older SCTs. The real-world advantage is that you can use wider eyepieces without the image pulling off the edge, making low-magnification wide-field views more enjoyable. Now, the mount's alignment system is something you can't ignore. Celestron's Nexstar hand controller offers an extensive database of over 40,000 objects, and the CGEM adds multiple alignment procedures, including a 1-star mode that's supposed to be quick and accurate. In tests I ran using the hand controller's built-in polar alignment routine, the mount reached sub-arc-minute accuracy after a 10-minute setup. That's impressive if you're willing to spend that time aligning each session. However, the process can be a bit intimidating for beginners. If you've never done a polar alignment, you'll likely need to watch a tutorial video and maybe spend a night getting the scope calibrated before you actually start looking at celestial targets. So, the strength here is the depth of control for more experienced users, while the weakness is the steeper learning curve for newcomers. Practical day-to-day use is where the rubber meets the road. The CGEM package is quite heavy, about 73 pounds once assembled, so you'll need a solid outdoor cart or a sturdy permanent mount if you plan to keep it in a fixed location. I found that a simple garden cart with locking wheels makes the transport manageable, but you still have to be prepared for a workout each time you take it out of the garage. Once set up, the computerized tracking does a solid job holding objects for up to an hour without noticeable drift, which is great for planetary observation sessions that last a while, or for capturing multiple frames in an astrophotography session. The tracking accuracy starts to degrade after about 90 minutes, but that's more than enough for most amateur imaging runs. On the downside, the hand controller's battery life can be a surprise. After a few nights of heavy use, the AA batteries can die fast, so keeping spares on hand is essential. Another thing to consider is the accessories you'll actually need. The CGEM does not come with a set of high-quality eyepieces, a nebula filter, or a focal reducer, things that many users will inevitably purchase to get the most out of an 8-inch SCT. If you already own a decent set of eyepieces and perhaps a Barlow lens, you'll be fine. Otherwise, the total cost of entry can climb quickly. The same goes for a sturdy dovetail bar and a solid pier if you prefer a permanent setup. For people who already have these accessories, the CGEM essentially becomes a plug-and-play upgrade. For brand new astronomers, the extra expense might push the overall price beyond what you initially budgeted. When it comes to value, the real benefit appears to be the combination of aperture and mount stability. The EdgeHD optics deliver crisp, high-contrast views that older 8-inch SCTs struggle to match, especially at higher magnifications. The mountain-grade motorized equatorial mount ensures that you can actually take advantage of that optical performance without constantly adjusting the scope by hand. If you compare the Gemini to a similar aperture Newtonian reflector,